So, good evening. Back again, back in game, peeps. How are you doing? Hope you're okay. And tonight, I've got my guy Ryan from Canada, and he's a Newcastle fan. And yeah, just before I do that, my name's John, and we're going to discuss what's going on at Newcastle at this moment. The situation is going on with Steve Bruce, off, and other things got a tag about. So, if you like the video, could you please subscribe to the video? And subscribe if you're new, and stick a like on the video too. And yeah, Ryan, good evening, mate.
Good evening.
How's things with you back in Canada?
Everything's good for me, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, because first time I spoke to you was on Sharky's 209 TV, and he's a great guy. And when he did that interview with us, and I can remember you, and he says how like it is, and you like a bit of League on as well, don't you?
Yep, I like watching another variety of fan channels, but Newcastle's the main team I like supporting. I mainly watch like the top 6 like fan channels, like mainly when they're in like crisis, like when Arsenal are going through that bad patch of like them in 17th, like the content out of that was amazing.
Yeah, man. It is what it is, and something needs to be done about it, and very, very quickly. So what I'll do, I'll go through the chat, through the comments very, very quickly before we talk about what's the hell's going on at 2. So I've got GMs, evening, John. Hope you're well. You can say evening to Ryan as well. A lot of news there about Chris Wilder being lined up to be our new manager. We'll comment on in a second. Pause evening, John. Hope you are well. Do you think Wilder links are true? We've got to talk about Chris in quite a bit. And got Paul, Jesus, I do. I've got Paul again. But now the media are saying that it's not 6 days off. Now they're saying it's only 5. Should be only half a day off at the most at the week. Paul Grievous, mate, 100%. I've got a homely guy. Hello, John. Hope you are well. I've got Layla. Thanks so much for coming on. Hiya to you. And he said 3 players you would take from Fulham. And I will come on to that one in a minute. So, Valerie there, we've got the Fulham chat. We've got Chris Wilder, right? But we're going to come to these guys later on. First of all, we're going to talk about Steve Bruce. Now, he's been told by Ashley they're going to keep him on because of loyalty. And our loyalty is to get beat 3-0. And the problem is, he wins in 20 games. Wow, would have got managers to sack. But this guy is the luckiest manager ever alive. I mean, what will be the cutoff point for him to get sacked?
I honestly don't know, because I'm starting to believe now that like he's almost been hired just in case we get relegated. He's the guy to bring us back up. But how could he bring us back up when he's lost the dressing room already? For me, the guy has to go at the media all the time. He cuts them off. He's always arrogant. And for me, if you have 1 or 2 of those things, or even both, and you lose the dressing room, you're done. But somehow he gets away with it.
Yeah.
And it's just a joke at this point. You just got to laugh at it.
I don't know whether to laugh or cry. I really don't, because the bottom line is, I mean, this manager is very, very lucky. And apparently, I listened to John Gibson on the Everything Gets Black and White podcast, I live clips of it, and he reckons that the reason it's being kept on is because he hasn't gave Ashley a bad time looking up and saying, look, can you sort this out, etc., etc. Oh my God, I mean, this manager, I never wanted him the first one. I wanted him out before I wanted him in. And he's here. And it seems to me that, well, he claims he's a Newcastle fan. And if he really cares about the club, he should have walked away. But no, he's just want to take Aston, and he just wants £4 million. What do you make of that, mate?
I remember looking at one of the press conferences today that I went on my Twitter, and the guy's like, I'll never shy away from a challenge. Shut up, Bruce. You shied away from Hull City because you didn't want relegation on your name, and you don't want to shy away just because it's your boyhood club. This guy's more of a Man United fan than Newcastle fan.
He is that. He is a Man U fan.
And that's why he's still here, because his loyalty apparently, but he's not. And I could see why John Gibson, like, I agree with that too. Like, you could tell Rafa, like, was the one to, like, get into Ashley, say, hey, like, I want this done. I want, like, how about this idea? He's like, no, not that. But Steve Bruce is just the kind of guy where, like, you'll probably, like, when's the last time he talked to Mike Ashley? It was probably in January. We wanted to sign Joe Willock on loan. Get out of here, man. It's a joke.
Wow. It is a joke. And the fact of the matter is, I mean, the players, he's lost the dressing room as well. He's lost the dressing room after the game. Two Carolyn girls stormed off the pitch down to the tunnel. Things wasn't looking well. And the worst thing is, right, I mean, Isaac Hayden was taken off at being stretched off, yeah. And the one thing I noticed,
saw that.
All the managers or the Goloton just patting on the bench, like, get well, son. Steve Bruce just stood there and didn't even care. And
Steve Bruce is a statue. He's there on the touchline like this with puffy red cheeks. That's all he is. The guy does not look well, and he should leave the club immediately.
Yes, he should leave. He should leave now if he's got any heart.
The only backing this guy has is from his media buddies and people like Simon Jordan.
Yeah. Chris Sutton. Yeah. Robbie Savage. Not being funny, right? But all these pundits now are saying that Steve is doing a wonderful job.
No.
Now realizing and saying that he's going to have to go. It's too late. They can get lost for us.
That's why I can't stand pundits these days, John, because they're supposed to do their homework on, like, each and every team. And I'd rather have an opinion. Like, if I want to know what's going on with, like, Wolves, for example, I go on Wolves Fan TV. I don't listen to these pundits about them, because I'd rather listen to someone who's focused on one thing rather than spread all across. And they're passionate about their team too. Like, these pundits sometimes just give absolutely awful opinions, in my opinion.
Yeah, they do. They give them poor opinions, and then they realize it's too late. That Jermaine Genius, for one of them, right? He's an absolute muppet. Joe called.
Oh my God, yeah. I'm glad Jake Humphrey called him out. He's like, yeah, would you accept 17th at Norwich? Like, he would accept 17th at Norwich. He's like, yeah, Norwich is a yo-yo club. This is Newcastle we're talking about. Big up Jake Humphrey. He's the only one in, like, the media world of football where, like, he can actually wake up, smell the coffee, and realize the hellstorm that we've been through for 13 years or whatever. And you know what, too, I want to say, John, is my friend, he's a Real Madrid supporter, like the shirt I'm wearing right now. And he brought up such an amazing point. He said, Premier League clubs, the ownership should be under, like, it should be a president rather than owner, so you can vote them off. If we had presidents in the Premier League, when Mike Ashley got us relegated, he would have been voted off like that. But he's kept on, and not just Mike Ashley too, but, like, I'm sure people like the Glazers, the Arsenal owner Stan Kroenke, like, so many of these owners would have been voted off by now, because they're almost getting away with murder nowadays, these owners, because, you know, for me to be a football owner, you got to be at the tip of your toes to actually, like, compete. You can't be like, it's not like the American sports where, like, you finish 30th, you have no consequence, no relegation or any of that. You have to, like, constantly spend money to actually, like, keep afloat and be ambitious too. And, like, I feel like it's not much of a thing in the Premier League, unless you're talking about Chelsea and Man City owners, in my opinion.
Yeah. Do every season, and Ashley will not be owned at all, or make him do, like, orders that test again.
Even at Barcelona, sorry.
Yeah, you're right. No, right. Carry on. Sure.
At Barcelona, like, they just voted off their president. Like, why can't? Imagine if we can do that with Mike Ashley.
I tell you what, he'd be gone. I think Ashley will run away before he takes place, because you know why? He can't take on the big hitters. He can only take on Newcastle because he knows we're weak. But I'll just go to his comments quickly. And Ruda, hello both. Hope you're okay. Fulham Newcastle combined 11. What I'm gonna do, if we both say, if we both got a chance to stay up, right? let's take Sula. I do combine them against these two. John bollocks to us as cabbage head idiot fool. He makes us sick and arrogant. You know what? Here, John, yeah, I am indeed. Paul, I love to. Yeah, I know what you mean, Paul. It's only sad now. Only hope is players to take the matters into their own hands. What do you make of that one? I think they should do. I think I heard one of the players has gone up to and say, look, I want boost out now. They didn't disclose the name, but there's a few names. I mentioned Callum Wilson might be one of them.
Dubravka, I think, yeah.
It's one of those two. I think it's Dubravka, you know, and say he wants out until Steve Bruce gets the sack. Now, in my opinion, right, Charlie needs to wear up and open his eyes now and say, right, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to keep the players happy. I want to keep this club in the Premier League. And the only way to do that is listen to the players and get this idiot out of the club, right? And I tell you, throw it out of the club and have done with.
I agree. I agree with that completely. I feel like I said a few weeks ago, I think too, like if I want player power to take over, it's now, just so we can get Bruce out of this club. And if the senior figures can do their job and hopefully it can be executed well, then Lee Charnley and Mike Ashley can actually make a decision and get him out of here.
Yeah, man.
Before it's too late, because I mean, I don't know about you, John, but how has Steve Bruce lasted longer than Steve McLaren? It's an absolute joke. You know why? Actually, Steve McLaren got sacked too. Well, first of all, he wasn't good enough. He didn't know how to set up a defense. And Mike Ashley gave him £80 million to spend. He had no clue how to use it.
Yeah. That's absolutely.
Rafa comes in and he's able to turn Townsend and Shelvey into like good players.
Yeah. I mean, talking of John Joe Shelvey, I'm not a big fan of John Joe Shelvey at all whatsoever. Because I tell you what, he wanted to get rid of John Joe Shelvey the minute he walked through the door. And when they played in the championship, Shelvey didn't play the first couple of games. He wanted him out. The only reason he came in because he wanted to sign someone he couldn't get. That's why John Joe came in. So I just do not rate him. I think he's a lazy player. He doesn't care. I wouldn't have him near my team. No way. Because we need fighters in the team. Shelvey is not good enough for Newcastle. I would have got rid of him in the summer.
John Joe Shelvey, like he's not good enough. And I feel like he only fits a certain amount of teams like style of play. Obviously, we have that sit back, try not to lose approach. So, you know, his long balls are pretty useless. Yeah. And literally his long balls are just like last minute option. You look at the Fulham game, all this guy was doing is lumping balls into Carroll, and it's just awful. And it didn't work.
No, not at all. It's ridiculous, man, because the bottom line is, I mean, you know, we're just so predictable. We're just scared of keeping the bar. We're just so scared of doing things with the bar. Steve Bruce doesn't let us press. There's an incident late in second half when Sanchez had the ball out just outside his box, and not one Newcastle player pressed towards him about 10 seconds later. Not once. And he's basically saying, okay, yo, I've got the ball. You're going to come for it. Obviously, it's no idea. But Sanchez just laughed at him. We do not press. And it seems to me that the Newcastle players don't want to tackle, they don't want to press, they don't want to work hard. Their fitness is absolutely shocking, Ryan.
I agree. And I feel like the only time we've been pressing is since Graham Jones came in. We came out with some kind of different system. But like I feel like with Graham Jones's like ideas and what he's brought, like Steve Bruce has also put his own foot on like the door of what he says, and like so he takes Graham Jones's ideas and stuff. He's like, okay, but we'll just still sit back and try not to lose the game, but not go for any wins. I'm telling you, this guy would play for 38 draws a season. Because nowadays it's almost enough just to keep you in the Premier League, to be honest.
Yeah, that's all it is in Newcastle. We as fans deserve much better than that. We're not an ambitious club. I've got Paul here. If Messi and Ronaldo play for us, the Bruce manager, we're still.
I agree with that. We've gone back. Every player's gone backwards under him. I said when I went on Paul's channel for like 10 minutes yesterday that players like Sean Longstaff don't turn crap overnight.
No.
So that's what I'm saying too. Like I feel like if Bruce is gone, I'd be willing to give like most of these players another chance because everyone's been bruised.
Every one of them. They don't seem happy. But the players now, I've always said the players must go to Charlie or Ashley and say, look, if you don't play us, we're going to down tools or we're going to go on strike until this manager gets out of the club. And Ashley and Charlie just don't give a flying toss. So I've got Layla, Anderson, or Lascelles. For me, they're both playing different positions. Like, I'll bring Anderson in. And for me, I'll say Anderson or drop Lascelles. He hasn't been playing well. Steve McLaren's fell with an England team that has the likes of Mooney, Scholes, and Beckham, which is supposed to be one of the golden eras in English football. And he didn't even get out of Europe at Euros as well in 2007, 2008. Drew said people need to comment in our players' Twitter and see it. Go on a pitch with a bit of pride, not for boost, but for us fans. That's a good point. Go out there, play for us. Don't play for the manager, play for us. Because at the end of the day, you are good players. Go out there, express yourselves. Don't listen to boost. Go out and do your own thing, yeah? Whatever he says, do not listen to him, yeah? And James said Graham Jones has to start taking some of the blame as well, though, because surely there's more formation to use than the current one. What's to make of that?
I agree. I feel like the 4-3-3 we've been exposed, like Kraft and Lewis, they've been the ones that exposed the most under this new formation. And they're almost like this formation makes it so like our wingers don't even track back at all. And it's literally 2v1s against our fullbacks, and people like Kraft and Lascelles and Lewis just can't keep up with it. I mean, I want to talk about Jamal Lewis. Like, since he's been brought in, there should have been some other kind of left back like Jetro Willems to like actually compete with. This guy was relegated and he's expected to start and be the best left back, but like he's scarred with relegation already. People like Andy Robertson he got relegated from Hull, but he went to Liverpool, but he's competing with Alberto Moreno. He didn't have, he had actual competition when he arrived there. And we got rid of our best right back during the season, DeAndre Yedlin, to free up some cash, even though we got like at least around 5 players out of contract this summer. 2 center backs, 2 strikers, and a few others I can't think off the top of my head. But I just think I don't get why he hasn't gone to 4-2-3-1. Those were the best results we've been getting out of with that formation.
You just touched on Yedlin. What is the point of selling a right back and not bringing in a right back? It does not make sense at all. It really don't.
Yeah, I don't understand because Manquillo's been like, for me, like overall, he's a bit hit or miss for me. But currently he's our best right back. But I think he's had a lot of fitness issues this year. Kraft just isn't good enough. The guy should be playing hockey instead, not football.
Or do some craft work. That's what I do. Oh man, what do they call him? The Swedish craft food. I heard people are crying.
Oh no!
Remember what it is? I watched
oh god,
what's his name? Emma Kraft. I'll come and tell you a story about him in a minute. I'll give you his comments quickly. Bruce failed every single club I knew, relegated Borough from the Premier League, and Jones failed at Luton in the Championship. So what makes these coaches good enough for our club? Jamal Lewis needs someone who has experience.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
Yeah, compete the same position and makes them a lot better. I got Layla, Aurora, or Dubravka. Which one would I take? The thing is, it's like a hard little game. Who would you take? I'll take Aurora. I'll pick a keeper on form, and the player I'll pick out of those two at this moment is going to be Aurora.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I haven't seen too much of him. Like, he's always been a backup keeper for like PSG, and he had a loan at Real Madrid last year, and now he's at Fulham, and like it seems like he's doing well. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, for me, it's a tough one really because Aurora, when I rate him PSG, and let's be honest with you, I mean, if I do a combined 11, I'll pick the keepers on form. The back haven't played enough games, and Aurora played whole of the season, and he's been keeping Fulham into the end of the season. For me, I mean, I'll say Arola, so better keep out of it too, because I think a lot of people haven't heard of this guy. I have, and I think he's a decent keep at him. And I got Ronnie here. If Newcastle played in the back garden, I will shut the blinds. Joke of a club, I wouldn't blame you. Dollar or woman, pause and woman, and I'm going to talk about Kraft. He's like, give an ice cream to all of useless.
I'm telling you, the guy should be like it's most Swedish players. They play hockey over football. The guy should be playing hockey instead, or even curling. He's not a footballer.
I know.
It explains why we bought him from Amiens, I think, from France.
Yeah,
I look at them, and they're in League 2 right now in France.
He's played for London as well. But I watch a lot of Italian football. I love Italian football, as you know, and he's played for London. And when they signed him up, right, I said, please do not sign this. And when we got this sign, when we got this guy, I'm not being funny, but everyone was saying on Twitter and put it out there, the Swedish Cafu.
No.
Swedish Cafu. And you know what? When I heard that, I just sat back and I laughed. And this guy called Peter Emleden, right? He's a great lad. I met him in Italy, like he's a great guy. He knows Italian football in and out, right? When we found out how much he was on a week at Newcastle, 57 grand a week.
Yeah, I saw that. That's a joke. You know what? The only thing I've agreed with lately of a Cafu comment is I heard forgot that Leicester fan, Lee Choppy, the guy that looks like Jamie Vardy. He even said on his channel himself, he's like, James Justin is the Luton Cafu. I agree with that because that guy is cracked. James Justin, he's injured now, but he is some left back.
Yeah. Terrible player, him, Kraft, man. Oh my!
I can't believe I'm hearing that. Fans must have deleted that tweet right away as well. Swedish Cafu, get out of here, man.
Yeah, get out. You're right, man. Nah, terrible, man. Terrible. Right, it was talked about kind of Boost who talked about Kraft. I want to talk about the next Newcastle United manager. I mean, if Boost does decide to get the sack, I mean, I heard rumours that Chris Wilder is one of the few of us to take over the job. I mean, he's left Sheffield United, part of company, a couple of weeks ago after 5 years at the club. Would you take Chris Wilder, or would you go for someone a bit different?
To be honest, I remember hearing his name a few months ago. At the time, I was like, no, because I felt like at Sheffield, he was always stubborn. He'd always play that 5 at the back formation, and it just never worked. Especially this season, the whole system got exposed, and you just never changed it at all. But at this point now, just anyone over Bruce. But even if he comes in, would he even play that 5 at the back? I'm not even too sure, to be honest, because I feel like he'd come in and just play a formation that suits us best, which is the 4-2-3-1. If you're any decent kind of manager, you know that that's the formation that fits us the best. I remember a few months ago too, I wanted Nigel Pearson a lot because he had that experience of he's that manager that demands a lot from his players. How do I say it? People will actually kind of look up to him and not take. He won't take shit from any players at all. And but he's at Bristol now, so that's gone. Eddie Howe, I was a fan of too, but I feel like it's too late in the season. Have him come in and try to make a difference. We need someone with experience at this point.
Yeah, so you wouldn't take him then really at the club then Wilder.
I'd probably take Wilder on an interim basis, maybe.
Yeah,
I think I would.
I'd take. For me, I'll take Eddie Howe if he's available. I don't think he'll come up north. Yes, no. I think he'll wait for the Crystal Palace job. If Roy Hodgson decides to pour Thomas' managerial career, I think Eddie Howe's name would be top of that list, I guarantee you. Or if Thomas Frank leaves Brentford, then
I'd take Thomas Frank, yeah.
I'll take him as well. But he will have a project at the club because at the end of the day, he will be told what to do. He'll be telling Ashley what he wants. He don't want to come as head coach. He wants to come as Newcastle as manager, not as head coach. And for me, I'd take Thomas Frank all day long.
Brentford's actually in 4th place right now, so if they get promoted, I feel like he'd want to stay at Brentford if they get promoted. But I don't know. It's hard to decide because you got to think of someone realistic with this ownership we have as well. But
Yeah,
to be honest, like I said before, I think like I feel like Mike Ashley, the ownership he runs, the way he runs our club is like a club like Bournemouth where they're kind of like yo-ish, where like they don't really care if they're kind of in the Premier League, but they don't really have the funds available, kind of like what Mike Ashley does.
mm,
So yeah, like well, like I think I saw on James's channel too, like if Mike Ashley wants to own a Premier League club, like he may as well own like Burnley or like Bournemouth or like Fulham because they just go down and up all the time. And like I don't think Mike Ashley cares, but we're Newcastle, like we shouldn't be in that category whatsoever.
yeah. I totally agree, man. I just took all the Chronicle, right? I mean, the latest betting's he's going to be the next Newcastle manager if Bruce decided to get sacked. Yeah, Graham Jones limited 10, Chris Wilder mentioned him 92, Rafa Benitez 5-1, Eddie Howe 6-1. Roberto Martinez, I'd take him at 6.
Yeah, with Graham Jones too.
Yeah, Graham Jones as well as interim at the end of the season. I look down the bottom, right? I mean, this guy here, Steven Gerrard, 25-1. That's an interesting one there. I don't think he'll leave Rangers. There's no way.
I feel like he'll be there for another year or two.
I think he better, yeah, that's my guess as well. And that's what I'd take. But the one I'd take as well, like Paul's just mentioned, I got Ryan saying, how are you? Hope you're okay. And Paul's picked up a good one, Lucien Favre.
Ooh, the Dortmund manager.
Yeah.
He had like that attacking style too. So yeah, I think that's literally what we want is like, we want some good attacking football. And like, I'm not really the kind of guy to say like where we should finish on the table. I like kind of like the beginning of the season, I thought we'd finish like 45 to 60 points with the squad we have. That's how I kind of look at it rather than like an actual like 10th, 11th position. And I feel like if we got 45 to 60 points a season with good football, that's what we're happy about. And like a good cup run for both domestic cups too. Like we're fine with that. Like that's literally what we want. And then like a few years time, like our expectations will like change and maybe we'll want to go a bit higher, but that's obviously not the case with Mike Ashley. And this is what the pundits don't understand. Like Paul said yesterday that like Paul Merson is like the most elite when it comes to Newcastle. He says, we want top 6, we want Champions League. Well, I mean, that's the dream, but that's literally like a lifetime away, takeover or not. Like, I think every club wants to be there, but like realistically, ambitions, like 45 to 60 points with good cup runs and good football, and not the fear of relegation too.
Yeah, I totally agree. That we're not asking for Champions League. We're not asking top 6, and then Paul Merson tells us and say that we mustn't live in the past. I think Paul Merson needs to get out shut because at the end of the day, it's people like him, right? I think he's upset because his team also is on the Champions League, and he's getting on the one, so he's taking that on us. But what we need is a manager like Lucien Favre as well. He wants to be in the Premier League. It's his dream. I'm sure it's his dream.
This club is still attractive for most managers, but the big stumbling block is our owner.
This is the thing. He needs to like step aside and say, like, right, you know what? Mike Ashley, for me as owner, wants to finish high as we can. Get this manager in. Look, they might not be successful in Europe, but they'll probably be successful in the Premier League. I think Lucien Favre would be fantastic. I mean,
yeah,
he plays football the right way. He plays open tackle football. He plays theatre back. But at the end of the day, I think he's exciting. I think he's still got it. I think he plays open attack football, and I think it'd be fantastic for us, you know, if it's going to be him. I don't know how much he'll cost the season, but at the end of the day, he's got to be able to manage.
100% over. Anyone can manage. A chimpanzee can manage over Steve Bruce.
Yeah. Oh, he's levels about Stevie Bruce. Levels, man. I got two games, but with Bruce on board, they'll probably clash. He's right, great manager, and doesn't take any crap. We're talking like Lucien again.
Yeah.
The guy is crazy. So
I'd rather have a manager that could come in and knows what they're doing but can't speak English and has like translator kind of like Bielsa, rather than have Steve Bruce who like is able to speak but has absolutely no clue of what he's doing.
Totally agree. And the thing is, right, you're talking about all these pundits, right, bigging up Steve Bruce and saying that he's done a wonderful job. We are getting people on Twitter, Arsenal fans, Man U fans, all fans over the country, wanting this manager out of the club.
Yeah. You know what, John? I said, like, I feel like the top 6 right now, I feel like all these fans would be willing to, like, have Tottenham be out of that position for us, because I don't think many clubs like Tottenham too much, and, like, they know we're a bigger club than Tottenham, I think. That's what I think. I'm saying with my chest, we're going to win a trophy before Tottenham does.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, if they get us to all of that sort of thing, we overtake Tottenham. Don't worry about that, because
yeah,
Spurs have got better players under us. They got Harry Kane, they got Song, they got Lamela as well when he behaves himself as well. They got Dele Alli when he behaves himself again. Lucas Moura. We're not going to cope on that. I'm going to come on to that later on as well. But I got even John and Ryan, there's a wrong language. You need to play football, and that's how to understand how to play football. And he's absolutely spot on.
Look at Bielsa. The guy's got a translator walking around with him every day, but he's still able to get the message across to his players of what they want him to do.
Yeah, totally agree. That's a good one. Paul doesn't speak English, he speaks Macam. Wow.
He speaks bacon.
Bacon, yeah. That's what he speaks about, but I think we should be talking about is sacked, because I tell you something now, right? I mean, I could see us getting absolutely hammering against Spurs, and
yeah,
still won't sack him. Actually, still won't sack him.
No,
because at the end of the day, we're the ones suffering. I mean, Stan Collymore, I don't know if you saw his clip. I mean, Stan Collymore called it right. He thinks it's personal between Ashley and the fans. He's basically saying the more we keep winding them up, the more he's going to wind us up by offering Steve Bruce a new 3-year deal. And if he does that, then my advice to the people, don't turn up.
Will you be going to the Sheffield game when that comes around with the 10,000 fans?
I thought a lot to go. I just thought stop at home.
Yeah. I think I've seen a lot of talk about it. Like, if we're relegated by that time, people are saying don't go to the game at all and show that you're not taking any crap from Mike Ashley and Steve Bruce. But going on that game when there is fans back, if whether relegated or not, that's going to be the most toxic atmosphere as well. There's going to be people crying. There's going to be people very angry. There's going to be people bringing cabbages and throwing it on the pitch. And it's going to feel like a 50,000 full crowd for Steve Bruce. And they're going to be hiring, there's going to be a maximum amount of stewards just to help combat all these angry fans that have had enough of this ownership and management for the past year and a half.
Mm-hmm. You're right. And we as fans are just suffering. We are long-suffering fans, right? Bottom line is, we are, because we deserve better than that. We don't deserve this. I mean, can you imagine if Steve Bruce managed it for AC Milan, Juventus, Inter Milan, Roma, Napoli, especially Napoli? I tell you something, he will not last. He'd be gone. He'd be gone. But I got some more messages here from Geordie. Chris Wilder seems to be getting strongly linked to the club. Thoughts about Wilder? I'd take him. Do you know what? I mean, you agree we should take him interim to the end of the season. I got no problems at all taking Chris Wilder to the end of the season. And if he drops John Joe Shelby, for me, he'll be a hero. Go Bruce, need to hear it. Yeah, agree, Paul. When Bruce goes, there's going to be one almighty pay up. Yeah, let's hope so. Better if Ashley's there. Really, emotionally high off the Sheffield United match. Fans won't be allowed to sit in the Melbourne if Bruce is still here. Well, I think fans should sit where they want. If they got season tickets for the Melbourne stand, I think they should sit in the Melbourne stand. It's as simple as that.
I'm wondering if there will be all the 10,000 fans will be all together, or kind of spread across almost.
You know what it is, right? I mean,
because imagine if they put there's no way they'll put them around the Gallagher. It'll just be too easy to get on the pitch, and there's going to be so many stewards there because the club already know how toxic it'll be by the time that comes.
Yeah, man. The thing is, right? I mean, I think it's going to be so toxic. I mean, if there's an Italian league, so there'll be fans outside the stadium as well, not just inside. There'll be fans outside the stadium. In fact, I think there'll be fans.
Oh, right? Yeah, that's true. There'll be quite a bit of fans outside the stadium too. Oh my gosh.
Oh yes, The players going to come in. I think the players now, we have to let the players know. I mean, I guarantee you something now, right? Steve Bruce, I'll tell you something now, right? He's going to get a rafts of the kitchen. I'm telling you, fans will not like it. And for me, if he's still there, at the end of the season in the championship, let me tell you something, right? I hope 52,000 turns up, I really do, and just give him what for. I'm telling you, I think he'd be gone before that. I got Paul, 10,000 fans letting the stadium can sit anywhere, man. I totally agree. We'll all be the home fans, would it? Of course it would. And Paul said, yeah. No, you're right. I mean, the supporters, for me, should sit where they want. It's simple as that. If they got a Melbourne stand ticket, go for it. You know what I mean? But like you said, it'd be so easy. I could see a pitch invasion as well. I could see.
Oh yeah. Well, especially if there's like if fans want to sit where they want to, and then they can't. Like, just by how poisonous and how frustrated fans are, like, they won't care. Like, oh my god, a pitch invasion, man. That would send a message, 100%.
Yeah, I tell you what it is, right? Ashley, I bet you Mike Ashley or Lee Chaney will not turn up to the stadium. They will not turn up. Because you know what they won't turn up? They all big then. They got the big gobs and the big smiles when they face to the media, face to the pitcher, seat in the stadium, away from home. But when it comes to the home game, they will not show their faces. Because you know why? Because they know full down well that fans will be at them as well. Steve Bruce, for me, I think he'd be gone. Personally, I think he'd be gone. He'll not be managing Newcastle next season. If he is, then I hope the fans go there, still go, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In hell.
I think the results are paying a message already, but as soon as there's there's only so much we can do as fans to like voice our anger on Facebook, Twitter, and all this. Like, we need actual like voices in the stadium to make everything heard. Like, it won't just be like abuse that Bruce will get. I'm sure the war flags, they'll turn up somehow and they'll bring a huge flag in, and it will send a strong message too, and they'll be caught on camera, almost like what they're doing outside St. James's right now as well.
Yeah, my guess is I think they're going to tell the stewards not to let their offensive flags in the stadium, but I'm sure they're going to have to, and pull it from the Millburns.
I would not want to be a steward that day against Sheffield.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be going against Sheffield United. Probably not. Even though I was given 10,000 tickets. I mean, I'll give you. Lee's made a good point. Lee Taylor said a brilliant point. Do what West Ham fans did and put a corner flag in the middle of the pitch. A couple of seasons ago, they played Burnley, I believe, lost 3-0. One fan got on the pitch and had to go on Mark Noble. Well, Mark Noble hit the fan, right? West Ham fans won best police about this. There's a pitch inversion, right? And all hell kicked off because they weren't very happy with the owners, the club.
Yeah.
And guess what? The owners listened to West Ham fans and spent all that money, right? And the rest was history. Look where they are now. And choose to hit the like button. Yeah. Please, guys, subscribe if you're already new. And Tom said, would you go back to the games? For me personally, I wouldn't go back against Sheffield United, but under the new ownership, there's a possibilities. Or I can just stay home and do the watch-alongs. You know what I mean? Until we get new owners at the club. But yeah, West Ham fans, look where they are now. I mean, they didn't spend a lot of money, but look where they are now. They're in the top 6.
Well, that's what happens. Like David Moyes, like I think he got hired like December 2019, I think, and he had to like fight relegation since. And then like he brings in people like Thomas Soucek. And that guy and like Mikel Antonio have been so vital to West Ham like this past 2020 and like this season alone. Like, I mean, after the first game, they've just been on fire. And I'm afraid we're going to get absolutely destroyed by them, I think, by the time they come to town.
Yeah. We look at the games we've got, not just West Ham, we've got Spurs home, then you've got Burnley away, West Ham at home. I think we've got Liverpool away, Arsenal home, Leicester away, Man City at home, Sheffield United at home, Fulham away. And I'll look to the fixtures there. And to be honest with you, Ryan, I can't see us getting another win.
No, I can't. Brighton was our chance. But I think after that Brighton game, I said, yeah, we're going down. It's done. I was confident about the season until the Sheffield game. where we lost, it's like, oh my gosh, really? And then like there's that kind of slight belief of hope when Graham Jones came in. We won against Everton, but ever since then, like we haven't even won a game. I don't even think we've won since Everton.
Yeah,
it's been Steve Bruce's like approach of like, yeah, 3 draws in a row, accumulation of points. That's great. Oh, Isaac Hayden, he's injured now. We'll have to box clever with him. Same copy and paste every time in his press conferences.
It's all the same. And to all like press conferences as well. I mean, you mentioned earlier as well that he's so rude in the press conference as well. He is definitely rude. And also as well, he doesn't let the interviewer or the press finish the question. He doesn't. And for me, Craig Hope from the Daily Mail absolutely hit it home, saying that he needs to get his house in order and start having to go at people. And then if you keep it quiet, keep his mouth shut, get your house in order, and then reports like that will not happen. But Matt Ritchie absolutely embarrassed him. Embarrassed him. You know what I mean? Yet, Charnley and Ashley, I mean, if Charnley's left in charge to make the decisions and Ashley's hands off, that, to me, Charnley is scared making the decisions. He is not a footballing man. He is so scared to upset the players. He's going to have to do it now. He's going to have to sack Bruce.
They have to.
He's got no choice. I mean, I could see a hammering against Spurs. I could see a 4-5-0 moment. You know what I mean?
I don't care if there's a manager that's good at their job or stuff. If there's any time where they have a go and some kind of fight with the players, they're done. They're done for me.
Absolutely.
And especially if they have a go at the media, like the earliest time I could think of Bruce like having a go at the media, I think was it was the West Brom game in the FA Cup where we beat them 3-0, I think 3-1 at the Hawthorns, and Craig Hope asked him something about Alan St. Maximin. He's like, "You think I'm lying, Craig?" And then like ever since then, like it's been downhill with the media.
And Steve Bruce don't want to talk about negatives, you know what I mean? But he knows he's under pressure. Pressure's telling, and he does not look well at all whatsoever. No. His health is not great. The reason he should walk away now, and what's stopping him, he wants to be sacked. He wants his £4 million payoff. And for me, if I was a Newcastle fan, forget the payoff. I'll just walk away from the club, because for me, health and happiness is important than money. This guy, he wants his £4 million. Actually ain't going to pay the money. He don't want to sack him. So it's like a Mexican stance. Who's going to be first?
Who's going to draw first? Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for me, I just think it's I just think it's going to be in deadlock at the end of the day. And for me, I can see the players going to keep down tools. Do you know what I mean? That's why one of the players going to come out. Where Fanak's going to be, I think it's the black guy. Definitely going to be him. And to say that, look,
he's the player with the most like leadership in the team. He's the one only shouting now. That's why like I want him back in the team as soon as he was available. Not because Darlow was doing bad or like because he deserves a chance. It's because we need an actual voice on the team. And man, Jamal Lascelles, I don't know what's happened to that guy. Like it's like Steve Bruce is in his head. Like he's got no leadership anymore. He's not as good. Yeah, like he's championship material now just because. Like, remember how good Lascelles was the first season back in the Premier League too, and then it just went like downhill for that guy. And like, it's weird too because our center backs are like the strongest area of our on the pitch, I think, for me. And we're already losing 2 this summer with Schär and Fernandez out of contract.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, again, with Schär being went off injured for quite a long time.
He's done. He's curtains for me. He's not playing another game for the club. They're not going to renew his contract.
Nah, he's done. He's gone. Don't worry about that. Under different manager, maybe it's like a Chris Wilder, maybe like an Eddie Howe. He said, you know what? I'll come in, but give Fabian Schär a new 3-year deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The players that I want the players to come in with us, yeah? If it's Eddie Howe, absolutely magnificent. He could revive Ryan Fierce's career again. And talking off Ryan Fierce, for me, if I was going to mark out of 10, at the moment, I'll give him a 2 because he does not want to be at Newcastle. He didn't want to sign for Newcastle because he wanted to sign for Spurs or Arsenal or even Liverpool.
Yeah, I remember that.
So for me, Ryan Fiercer did not want to come to Newcastle United. And I know people's bigging up and saying, oh, he's going to make a difference, blah, blah, blah. But the reason he come to Newcastle is because we were the only serious clubs coming for him. So, yeah.
I don't even know what other club was interested in Ryan Fraser, to be honest. Like,
his attitude is not right.
It's so hard with him because, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like the plan is now with him is, like, almost our last minute tactics of just like the last 10 minutes is literally give him the ball and cross to no one who's got height at all. He's the one kind of trying to create a difference, but like, just the way we play is just not meant for him, and like, it's hard. Like, he hasn't even been fit all season. Like, now he's starting to play a bit, but like, he can't really show his ability. He hit the post against Brighton.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Well, he hit the post.
I think if Alan St. Maximin's back, like, he replaces Fraser for me, because Alan St. Maximin's our best left winger at the club.
Yeah, I totally agree there. I mean, we're badly missing him and Callum Wilson. You know, those two are absolutely huge misses. And
it seems like the only time Bruce will ever like play normally, with like kind of an attempt to win almost, is if Callum Wilson and Alan St. Maximin are in the team. Like, you know what? Like, during the Christmas period when those two were injured, that was the opportunity to actually play. I know I'm saying this, but like someone like Joe Linton in a 4-2-3-1 on the left mid the whole time. But instead, Steve Bruce decided to go 5 at the back the whole Christmas period. Well, that was the start of the downhill. There was the Leeds game where we got absolutely destroyed, and he's not playing He's playing players like Jacob Murphy at right wing back instead of him being a winger. I mean, come on, John. I said this on Paul's channel yesterday too. Jacob Murphy's in a situation like the Longstaffs are right now, where he's got people like Joe Linton playing ahead of him, even though against Aston Villa, Jacob Murphy's the guy to make the difference right away.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm saying that he's in the situation as Longstaffs because people like Shelby and Hendrick get ahead of both of them.
You know what it is? You made a good point there, right? It's so frustrating. Guys, please click a like on the video. And if you already knew, please smash the likes up and subscribe if you're new as well. And please follow Ryan as well on his Twitter account and on his YouTube. He's got one. Look, you're right, mate. You're absolutely right. I mean, he's playing the best players are on the subs bench. He's playing players who are on good enough, knowing they're going to get beat. For me, Steve Bruce, right, is picking players who just doesn't care. He doesn't really care. He's desperate for the sack. That's why he's doing it. I mean, Henrik is not good enough.
No.
Look, he's not playing that well at the minutes, but I'm not going to pin it on him. I'll pin it on the manager, definitely. Yeah. You got Dwight Gill. I mean, you got Bruce picking him up all the time. So I'll try and what does he do? I'll tell you what, benched.
Yeah. The only player that's actually done well, the only player that's actually done well being out of position is Isaac Hayden at center back.
Yeah. He's the only one for me. And I think when he plays there, I think he's outstanding. Against West Brom, okay, I knew they were poor at the time. I thought he's done really, really well. And, you know, but other than that, you know, our centre backs, I mean, look at the one on Saturday, Kieran Clark. I thought he was poor. He was our fault for the first goal. And then Lascelles for the third goal. I mean, he just stood there, didn't he, for the third goal. But that's why I gave him player ratings. I gave him back for 0 out of 10, a lot of them.
Just for a second, like, I'm looking at Paul's comment. He's saying Joe Linton, what a clown he is. I'm only saying Joe Linton because at the time he was basically our only fit winger. Alan St. Maximin and Fraser were out. And all we had was Joe Linton and Jacob Murphy that time.
Yeah, man.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you.
Anytime, if Alan St. Maximin's fit in the squad, Joe Linton doesn't get any chance ahead of any of them.
Nah, you're right. I mean, I wouldn't play Joe Linton ever again. I wouldn't, because we need goals. I mean, he's got, 3 goals in 38, 68 games? 66 league games. Hang on, tell a lie. About 70 games, right? And he hasn't even done it. I mean, 3 goals. He only scored 1 goal this season, and that was a scuff shot. That was a defense. Yeah. You know what I mean? And yet, these people are still bigging the sky up, saying that there's a player in there. He can be good. Come on, man.
It's his final third the most that lets him down. He can't shoot. He's got no decision making in the box. And that's what I'm coming to, the man. Like, I'm only saying Joe Linton. Like, in my defense, I'm only saying Joe Linton because during that Christmas time, no, not Richie. I like Richie as a leader, but every time this guy gets the ball, he puts in out of 1 in 5 crosses, he puts 1 good one in. Not good enough for me.
Yeah, things that it can't be any worse, but at the end of the day, he can lead and he'll kick you back, people at the backside, if you see what I mean. But yeah, listen, I say he works hard, but for me, where do I put him? Where do I put him? He's got to be on the left side. And you got Thomas there, John, don't hurt the fans' feelings. Sorry, I'm just saying how it is. He's not my mate. I just don't rate him. I'm not being funny, but at the end of the day, people say I hate him. I don't hate him. He's just not a good footballer at all. And players like him is going to get us relegated. And if we get relegated, who is going to buy him on £86,000 a week?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the guy is an absolute joke. I mean, honestly, give Julian a unicycle. Look, you know what? I'll give him a pass back to Germany. Take him back to the Autobahn. Tell him what time one pick it up, son. And I'll be quite happily driving back to the Bundesliga. Because for me, that's where he made his name.
That's Joe Linton's like level, I think, is like mid-table of like La Liga or like French football. Not the Premier League.
Yeah, we not get £40 million back from him. That was Ashley's doing. Like, I mean, Rafa Benitez come out and he is absolutely right yet again and say, look, he ain't worth the money and he will not be suited to the Premier League. And I'm sorry, I've said that. When Rafa says that, it's not normally wrong, let me tell you. And that's how it is. And
Mike Ashley probably bought Joe Linton just to please and like maybe get a few like shirt sales in Brazil for all the Toon fans there, I think.
Yeah, but who has heard of Joe Linton in Brazil, man?
Yeah.
A top Brazilian club. I don't think he has tonight. He came to Germany.
He was at some random club in Germany, went to like Austria and then Hoffenheim. Now he's here.
Yeah. And Hoffenheim must be laughing at Deutschmarks.
Yeah.
40 million came
the fact that Mike Ashley spent 60 mil on 2 left wingers before Bruce came in and while Rafa was out was an absolute disgrace.
Yeah.
He's lucky I'm saying lucky because he definitely did no research on Alan St. Maximin. He's just like, oh, some flary French player has the potential to like be even better. We'll buy him. Same with Joe Linton, some Brazilian. Number 9 comes to Newcastle.
Yeah. Because I think they're doing that out of spite to Rafa. You know what I mean? Putting 2 things up at Rafa. And you know what it is? For me, it comes starting to unravel now. I mean, getting a lot of people saying, even on the tweets, saying that Joe Linton is costing us relegation if we do go down, mind. And one thing I will say as well, Ryan, if we do stay up, that's a big, big if, rip up that team and start the whole thing again. Rip it up, get rid of players who are not good enough. And there's about 6 or something I'd get rid of. There's players like John Shelby, there's Sales I get rid of as well.
Kraft, Hendrick.
Dummett, I mean, I keep Dummett as a squad player for me. I'm not being funny, as a squad player for me, because if he was that great, he'd be in the Newcastle team by now. And I'd definitely get rid of a few. I mean, Dwight Gale, he wants to move on, let him go. Andy Carroll, if he wants to go, he can go. We need a new team. We're going to lose about 15 players this season. I really do. You think about lose 15 players. We ain't going to have a squad. We won't. And
the only one I could see guaranteed to stay if we get relegated is Jacob Murphy for me.
He's out of contract as well. So that's why they have him on the new deal. And for me, I mean, they're talking about getting Adam Armstrong from Blackburn Rovers, because what it is, we sold him to Blackburn for £2 million with 40% release sell-on fee, so we can buy him for 40% cheaper. But my first Adam Armstrong, Alan, if you listen to my show, right, from Blackburn, right? Take my advice to this, mate. Stay at Blackburn or move to the Premier League. Because I'll tell you something now, we'll not be in the Premier League. And for you, if you come back to Newcastle, it's going to be exactly the same. Stay at Blackburn, move to the Premier League.
There's literally, I can't believe another player out of contract too. We got 2 strikers, 2 center backs, and now a winger.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Plus, we will get some money for Almiron, ASM, Dubravka, Lascelles. These players do not want to stay at BSDBs. Mike Ashley, it's personal between Ashley and the supporters. Do you know what I mean? And also, like James, I'm heavily linked to West Ham, but would like to come home. Like I said, James, my advice to Adam Armstrong is stay at Blackburn, move to West Ham, mate. Because I tell you something, your career is elsewhere, not at Newcastle.
Yeah, no player should ever return to us the way we are.
Yeah, and the same goes with Ivan Toney. Stay where you're at, mate, because you'll be wasting your time. Your career under Newcastle, under Steve Bruce, will be absolutely dented before he even kicks off. But there you go.
Notice how most of these players that have left too, like Kevin and Babu, Mikel Merino, they've all excelled.
Yes, they have. And Babu's been absolutely magnificent. Who's the other player did you mention?
Mikel Merino.
Yes.
He was the one that didn't really get a chance, but I really liked him.
Yeah, that's down to the culture. I feel for Rafa Benitez as well. Never gave him a chance at the moment. No, he's came with an injury, and also he wasn't in the first team. Want to be playing regular football? You know what I mean? I would have had him. He's levels above Shelby. You know what I mean? This is what I don't get.
Yeah,
get Shelby in, but Merino should have replaced Shelby. I think Mikel
Merino kept it simple as a midfielder. He didn't do any Hollywood passes that 2 times out of 10 would never work. He'd grab the ball, he'd drive forward and play a simple through ball or take a long shot, something that I like seeing from players in that position.
Yeah, top quality player, top quality. He's in the squad as well, mind. And
yeah, exactly. And he's playing Europa League too. Well, he's out now, but he's playing. He's a regular for Sociedad.
He is, and Sociedad's playing fantastic football as well. They started well as well in the top 4. We're top of the table, and I think they're 5th or 6th now. But whatever happens to that team, they had a fantastic season. And for me, I think again, Sociedad are levels above us anyway. This is the thing, man. I love to go to European football. I want Newcastle to be in the Europa League, but ain't gonna happen.
I love Europa League.
European niceness in June.
If we were a consistent Europa League team if we got a takeover now in 5 years' time, we're in Europa League, I'd be so happy at that.
So would I. No doubt.
Imagine an away day in what's the country? I don't even know if Turkey or something. Some country that's kind of in Asia, but somehow considered a European team.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Something like Leicester is what Newcastle should be emulating.
I agree.
Their new training ground, the money that they got from Maguire is what they spent on for their new training ground, the Seagrave. It was 80 million. It was 90 million. They had to pay 15 out of their own pocket, and then the rest was all covered with the Maguire transfer.
Absolutely. You talked about that training facilities as well. I'll comment on just a quick second. I have Marino on the back of my shirt. I've got him on the back when he scored that win against Palace.
I remember that.
And he supports Palace as constant reminder. Nice one. Now, just basically, right? Talking about training facilities, right? We have got the worst in the Premier League. Rafa Benitez has come out and said, look, let's get it done. Let's sort it out. Yeah. And Ashley even said back in 2013, we could have the best in Europe. So we are going to spend money on that. And then 8 years to the day, it hasn't happened.
No. The guy is full of lies.
He is. But that's why the fans now, we're saying, right, you know what? You don't spend the money, we're not going to spend the money. But the trouble is the Newcastle fans, they're just so loyal, too loyal for their own good. They still just keep going and going and going. For me, right, if they want to go, they can go. If they don't want to go, I respect that. But at the end of the day, I'm getting fans tell us sincere, if you go to the games, you are backing Ashley. This is what you're backing. Have a look at this. That is what you're backing. Got a question for you, Ryan, from James. Do you have anyone you're backing your shirt, or is it just plain?
No, it's plain. The only one I have is my Madrid shirt right here with Ronaldo on the back. I also have a Bayern jersey for Alphonso Davies, fellow Canadian, best left back in the world.
Yeah, he is. I'll tell you, the guy is absolutely the guy is absolute bliss. Absolute sick.
You know what, John? He was actually about to join Crystal Palace before he went to Bayern. He had a visa issue, so he never went.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But my God, they must be kicking themselves, man. Wow.
Yeah.
It just goes to show. I mean, you gotta choose Bayern over Palace any time of the day, honestly. But I got Paul as well. Thoughts about bringing Mutor back? Would you take Mutor back?
I think I would, just because Gale and Carroll are out of contract, so we got one striker if Callum Wilson's still here. So yeah, I think I would. But you know what? Like, I feel like with some of these players coming out of contract, it might give an opportunity for people like Kel Watts to come back and and play in the championship, or even like Muto as well, and like the few of these lone players to come back. And Muto for me never got a chance, even under Rafa. I mean, when the guy scored 2 goals at Old Trafford, I think my heart sank.
Yeah,
that was like ecstasy as a fan at the time. Being 2-0 up at Old Trafford, oh my gosh.
He's got. I tell you what, for me, he was my man of the match that day. Man of the match for me. I mean, I thought the first half alone was absolutely fantastic, and that goal he scored against United was absolute mint. Absolutely mint. Turning, I think he turned in. I think it was turning by, and he just shot it. We could have gone 4 up in that game, you know. Shelby had a free kick.
I think it was I think Sanchez saved the game. He scored the 3rd goal and basically saved Mourinho's job for a bit longer.
Yeah, he did. If he had lost that game, then he would have been sat. But he brought on 2 players after 20 minutes. He made an early change after 20 minutes. He knew something wasn't correct, and we just didn't hang. We just didn't hang on. This is the thing. If we gave it a go and tried, I think we were absolutely knackered after 75 minutes. And look, I can't fault the players. Do you know why? They went out there and gave it.
And that's what you get with Rafa Benitez too. The guy worked miracles on the budget, and for me, if he was here in 2019-20, I think he would be. I think we would have been pushed higher up the table, because even on a shoestring budget, like, he'd still be able to get, like, out of all the signs, I think if you rate Rafa's recruitment out of 10, it was an 8 out of 10 for me. I think besides Lazar, and I can't really think of anyone else. Everyone else was quality, especially the center backs. That guy knew how to scout and find a good center back. Shar, Lejeune, Kieran Clark.
Yeah.
He made these guys look amazing.
Turning into top quality players.
And then he screwed up. We got Hosselu. He was there for 2 years, but after the second year, Rafa's like, we need to change it up. And we get Rondon. Oh my gosh. You know what, John? That front 3 of Perez, Almiron, and Rondon, if that was there the next season, that was the front 3 that would have carried us and would have got us like 55 points that season. A bit higher, maybe.
Maybe a bit higher than that.
Because you know what? Rafa was on a shoestring budget anyways, but it took him until Miguel Almiron to come in, where we had an identity and a stable structure of how to play. Like 3-4-3, I think. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was as Rafa talks, it was the balance that he was able to find, and he got that balance. But unfortunately, there's only 6 months of it.
Exactly. And that's a shame. And then look what we could have had when Rafa's here, you know, and then you're going to get that clown up front as manager sort of thing. But this is a good one, James. I mean, Elliot Sorensen, Yala Chore, Tom Allen, Alan Wilson. For me, I put Kellen Watson on that as well. Strikers in the youth doing wonders. Time to step up in the first team. Do you think these guys are ready for the championship?
I think they are. But you know what? it it sounds bad being optimistic about bringing like youth in for the championship because I don't want to be like I'm not watching this club in the championship. I'm sorry. Like I'm just gonna keep an eye on Twitter or like One Football because I'd rather go watch Serie A or like some other leagues or Premier
Yeah.
League good football rather than watching us in the championship. Like the thought of it it's not good.
Well, you're right. But for Newcastle in the championship, this is what Ashley wants. He doesn't care. I'll talk about Ashley quickly because we've been over. But like Ashley, he just doesn't care. For me, he's just washed his hands off the club, and he just quite happy just seeing our club getting relegated to make more pain for the
Yeah,
fans.
because the last two. Sorry, John. The last two times we're in the championship, it's because we got back up straight away. So he thinks, oh, third time's a charm. We can do it again. I completely disagree with that thought process if that's like going through his mind because the championship's more competitive nowadays, and I was happy to get out of it right away too. And we got out of it under Rafa Benitez because one, we had him, and also because we had the right recruitment. We get Dwight Gale, a proven championship striker, Matt Ritchie, who's experienced championship, and a few other players that are good enough for the championship and want to play for us. So yeah, it worked out that way. But the way the club is now, we're in the championship. We're not going straight up.
Definitely not. And then we're going to get a statement from the club to come and say, I apologise to the fans. I'm so sorry that we tried our best. Blah, blah, blah. You know what? The best thing they can do is shove the apology off their flipping arse. That's all I'm going to do to them. I'm not interested in their apologies, right? They don't care about us, you know what I mean? All it is just lip service to them. Lip service to them. We're not interested. And I tell you what, the moment that comes out on Twitter, I will have my say. If I get blocked for it, so be it. But for real
I want to say something. I want to ask you something, John. Do you think that the top six owners and Richard Masters were against us having the takeover? Like, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think it's true about all that?
I think that's true. It's definitely true because they don't want us to be a big hitter in the top six. They don't want us to upset the top six uppercut. Do you know what I mean? And I've always said that. Richard Masters is an Aston Villa fan, right? He works for Qatar, until Dubai, or wherever it may be, right? But for me, right, he does not want Newcastle to upset the top six. This is why it's going to arbitration. This is why he didn't say a word. He didn't reject it. He didn't want to pass this year. And this guy is an absolute fool for not taking it up, not approving our deal. More money would have gone into the club. More money would have gone into that pot. You know, it would have been more exciting. But they think that Newcastle, they do want another club from the north, right, to be a big hitter. Had it been like a top six club, no problem. Yeah.
I remember the Magpie channel brought up a good point. Like the season we finished fifth, that was the opportunity to become a top six club stable. But instead we get Vernon and Ita and we don't continue to push forward. And I remember hearing rumors of as well of like specific Premier League owners like Daniel leaving FSG. Like I think they're like the main ones against us having a takeover. And if so, these guys should not be Premier League owners because if you're afraid of competition, don't be an owner. Go own an NHL, NBA team because you're with the same owners every year. You don't get relegated and you don't lose out on any money depending on what position you are. But you're in football and, you know, like I said before, you got to be on the tip of your toes if you want to be stable or keep competing because like even without takeovers or not, like Burnley got a takeover. Why can't we get one? And also, top six is almost like breaking up. Almost like you see Leicester kind of like having an effort at that. They don't even have a takeover. They're kind of breaching that gap in the top six because they're a well-ran club with good recruitment.
Yeah,
and everything Leicester is doing right now is what I want to emulate.
Yeah, definitely. definitely. Get a decent owner in, follow the Leicester route. Yeah, spend the right money at the right time, and get the new training facilities, copy them, and just go for that. But you're absolutely right, because if they don't want us, like you said, Levy and FSG, just walk away. If it's a scale of competition, walk away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. Premier League is all about competition, and I'm afraid
Yeah.
after that speech, I'm sorry, it's gonna get us off comments, because I still believe. I mean, do you think the takeover is gonna happen? Do you think they're gonna win against arbitration? Do you think the take's gonna happen, Ryan? In your opinion?
I felt confident about it a few months ago, but I feel like I'm not really too sure about it anymore, because like it was almost the same process each season of us. It's literally okay. Try not to get relegated. We go into the summer, and we're just sitting on Twitter hoping for something to happen, and it just never happened. And I don't know. Like I'm really against the thought process about being like having like wanting us to get relegated just so we can get out of the just so we can get a takeover, because like I said, like I don't want to get relegated just for like I'm not that kind of guy. Like I want to stay in the Premier League and try to get like, and it's such a gamble to get a takeover and then have like the takeover right away in the Premier League, because like we won't even be certain it'd be guarantee us promotion. Like takeover or not, going in the championship's the biggest gamble, because we could literally stay stable, or we could be fighting for promotion or season, or we could be like Hull City where we slowly decline and we end up in League One, or do a Sunderland and get relegated twice.
That's the only way. I mean, that's going to hurt Ashley. That's going to hurt Ashley if we go down to League One. There's a possibility we can add to League One if this takeover doesn't happen for me. So I've got a question here for Paul. Guys, do you think Ashley's doing this intentionally? Do you think he's doing this intentionally to wind the fans up, basically?
I think so, but this guy doesn't even know like how our results. I feel like he's in Dubai right now. He probably has no clue what the hell is going on at this club. He probably has no clue that Steve Bruce is fighting with the media, fighting with the players like Matt Ritchie.
Yeah.
It takes someone like Lee Charnley to call him and say, "Hey, this is the current situation." Like he probably gives them like the half year update of what's going on at the club. And he gets a call, it's like, "Oh, we're screwed."
Yeah, that's all it is. Charlie won't do a thing.
It's such a dumb business decision too, because if you want to guarantee the success and maximize the sale of any kind of item from a buyer, and there's a stumbling block in your way, i.e. Steve Bruce, you get rid of him, pay the money, and get in someone temporary if that's the case, and if that's what it needs to come to.
Yeah, have to be, because if we get relegated, it's going to cost actually a lot more than £4 million. It's going to cost 120 million to drop out of the Premier League. Plus, he can kiss 340 million goodbye as well. So that's 470 million if you get relegated, and that's thanks to someone like Bruce taking us down. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. 4 million is chicken feed in the Premier League.
If we get relegated, it's all down to Steve Bruce for me.
Yeah,
I think it is. And if then secondary will be Mike Ashley for not knowing what the hell's going on.
Was said. You know, and they're just laughing at us now. We're just a banter club. We're just a banter club again. You know, and everyone's laughing at us again. And we'll see what's going on, because there must other customers thinking, why is Bruce still there? Why is he still there? What's he done? And yet the players expecting Bruce to be sacked on Sunday hasn't happened. And the players are just so peed off about it now. They're just going to say, right, you know what? I would have took the Charlie now. Get it sorted. You've got until 10 days to get this sorted for the Sunday's game, to get this manager out of the club. We want Graham Jones in to the end of the season. If it's him, great.
They have the players are off for 5 days. Imagine what the mood's going to be like as soon as they come back.
Yeah. That is ridiculous. How on earth they come to this decision? 5 days off. Do not Oh, in a relegation dogfight, does Steve Bruce not know this? And he's come out and say, "Oh, players, man, yeah, right. Two training sessions a day, right? 5 days a week, 5 days a week. Get it done, yeah. If they don't like it, drop them, yeah. Just 5 days off. They're laughing at him, man. They must be thinking, oh, we're a banter club. This club's a joke. What's going on here? Does he not really want us to train? Bloody hell. And no wonder the players aren't fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. It's
I just don't get it, man. I really don't. I got James here. I get people say, well, Ashley's fault, etc. But I would say it's Bruce because he picks a team.
yeah,
His team decides the instructions, etc. It's clearly Bruce's fault. Yes.
That's what I just said. This whole relegation, if it comes down, it's all Steve Bruce for me, because you're talking about Mike Ashley alone this season. He's given him the money to go out and buy players too.
Exactly.
No clue how to use them.
Yeah. Spent £100 million, didn't he, as well? And look what it's turned out to be at this moment in time. I was going to say, it won't be too long. I'm going to wrap this very quickly, okay? Just a few more. First of all, we talked about a takeover, and you're not too sure. Will Newcastle stay up this season, or do you think we're done?
We're done.
We're done. Is that before the Sheffield United game, or do you think it'll come to the last game?
I feel like someone like Man City will relegate us. Man City or Leicester, I think. I think those are like the third or fourth last game or some shit.
Yeah, I think you get a tanker of Man City, and we're going to get relegated by then. And my advice to the fans is, don't go to the Sheffield United game. If you go to the Sheffield United game, by all means do so. But let's hope it's more than 10,000 people go there, and make sure to go to the main entrance and put this as well. That's what's going to happen. It's as simple as that. And when do we get it? Do you have a YouTube channel or?
No. So I've actually been streaming FIFA 21 on Twitch a lot. I have 24 followers already, and yeah, it's quite fun. I like it. I came off a 3-hour stream just before I came on here.
Wow. Bloody hell, you're popular, are you, kid? You're very popular, which is great.
I'll go on the chat right now and put my link to my Twitch, actually.
Yeah, man. That's why I've got to go on Twitch as well soon. I don't even know how to go on there, but I will go on Twitch very, very soon, guaranteed. I've got Paul here. John Lewis's stores, closing 17 stores in the UK. No one who's going to buy that. I'm sure it'll be Ashley. And depressing times, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's very depressing times. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to do another chat tomorrow. Don't know what I'm going to do. But there's no press conference reactions on Friday. The reason is because there's no game. But as soon as there is, I shall be right on it. And then, I hope no one goes to the games and championship if we go down. I'm sure people still turn up, because Newcastle's in their blood and they still want to go out of the games and just too loyal. And that's it. So, yeah. So, just while I let you go, did you enjoy coming on my show, Ryan?
Yeah, it was great. But I want to talk about one more thing.
Please do.
So, this is about the Spurs game. For me, what will happen is Jose Mourinho, for the first half, will probably set out to go gun-ho attack against us. And he'll sit back after Harry Kane scores like 2 goals, or even Heung-min Son. And Spurs are going to sit back, allow us to come at them, and we're going to have no answers because Steve Bruce has no clue how to attack.
Not only that, baby. Not only that. We're really going to go down. We just don't come back from it as well. We don't come back. We have not come back. If me remember this correctly, 24 times, every 24 games, every time we go behind, we've drawn something like 6 games and lost 18 of them. Every time we got to go down. That's, for me, is huge problems at Newcastle. I've got one here. Oh, we should fill the stadium against Sheffield United. Well, there will be 10,000 there anyway. And we'll suffer the true key Juarez the moment he emerges on the tunnel, and abuse will flying from the full 90 minutes. So there'll be 10,000 people there. But I'm sure people will be standing outside the stadium, let me tell you. But back to the Spurs game, I think Heung-min Son will be back for that game against us from that injury as well. So that's bad news as well, because for me, I think a world-class player. I think, for me, he's the best player above Kane. I know Kane's the best, but I think this guy...
For me, if you look at it from an actual football perspective, we could go at Spurs because their defense for me is just not good. I think people like it's only people like Tony or Toby Alderweireld and like Sergio Reguilon that get in our defense. I think people like Eric Dyer and Sanchez are just complete crap.
They're not good enough.
I'd probably say Serge Aurier and Doherty just because our right backs are complete crap too.
I know, you're right. And you got the midfield as well. That
Højbjerg is like the main one for me, and Dombele too. But I don't know.
Dominic's class, and he's
Yeah.
getting that at him. He's been first season. I thought he was on his way. He's done. And then second season, I was saying, my God, he's just terribly a fantastic player. And Holberg, what a player is. Those two are really holding all game. We're going to overrun by them. And like I said, the rest is history. You got Harry Kane. What can you say? And also, what can I say about Holman Son? I really that guy. This guy is a world-class player. I don't think anyone see it. I've got one here. I think Spurs, it's a game we could pick up a point. They struggle to beat teams doing as a counter-attacking team. They beat Villa last week, and they will beat us again on Sunday week. I thought we pick up more points with 5 at the back, so I refer to that. No thanks very much. That's your opinion. Cool. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, I'll come on to your question in a minute, right? So Ryan's question for you. Jonathan, hi, John. How's things? Just to see that Monday need to just gone. I had my COVID vaccine. Jonathan, congratulations on the vaccine, mate. I hope they're getting your side effects. I've got mine again in June, and let's hope you get another one done soon, my friend. But well done to you, and just don't get any side effects as well. Yeah, why support Newcastle, Ryan, living in Canada?
Yeah, so for me, like I wanted to watch Premier League for a long time growing up, and the first game I watched was this Newcastle and West Ham game. It was the last season of the game, do or die for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just watching, and like even as the game started, like I felt more connected with the team. Sissoko scores the header. I was getting goosebumps, even though I don't even support the club. And then to top it off, Jonas Gutierrez coming on, scoring, beating cancer. It was just the tip of the iceberg for me. And since then, I've stuck by this club, and like I could have easily supported a top 6 team being from overseas, but I've decided to stick with Newcastle, and like there's no way I could change my mind on it now.
No, good for you, man. I mean, you support a great club despite difficult times at the moment in time. You know what I mean? I love Newcastle. I supported them for, over 30, yeah. And also start something for them. So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the good times will come back 100%. I got Benno here as well. Don't know who replaces him in defensive mid or either. Don't even think we can have someone who can fill the role.
Oh,
Matty Longstaff.
Oh, yeah. True, I guess, but I feel like he's not even going to get a chance to play. He'll probably just be on the bench now, and like Jeff Hendrick will come in place for him.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I just hope that whoever comes in, definitely not be Jeff Hendrick, because for me, if it's him, we are absolutely done. Seriously. And yeah, what a game that was. It sure was, man. But I can remember that game as well. Sissoko scoring that goal against Chelsea, 4-3. Wow, loved it. 3-2. So wow, who managed Chelsea that day? Rafa Benitez, of course. The fans do not want this guy. So yeah, so you're gonna watch the Newcastle Spurs game on Sunday week?
Yep, that's the plan. But I haven't. Sometimes it's been hit or miss for the games I've been able to watch because I work during the weekends sometimes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And something like the West Brom game, I'm glad I didn't see that because it was at 7:00 for me in the morning.
Wow. Do you know what, mate? Stay in bed. You're going to get stuff, mate. Yeah, I'm not going to miss that game, man.
That's the earliest I have to get up for games, John. It's like 7:00 for the lunchtime games.
Yeah. Stay in bed. But it's what it is, man. But if you do get up sort of thing, then well done to you. And I just wish you all the best of luck on watching that game. So, oh, God, I got Blake in there sort of thing. Excuse me, Blake, you can't come in. Oh, yeah, that's not my... it's not my daughter, someone else's, but she's part of my life as well. So bless her. And got kids away. And What time's games in Canada usually, Ryan?
I'm 5 hours behind UK time, so
So if it's a
like I said, the 12 p.m. the lunchtime kickoffs, as you guys say, it's around 7 o'clock for me. The latest I'll watch a game is like 3 o'clock my time.
wow, fair enough, fair enough. And I'm just going to picture of Kelly. Got a picture of my son here as well. And went to Borland Lakes today, up in just outside Newcastle. It's absolutely fantastic, and I had a great time. And with my son as well. I love my son as well, and love my son so much. And he gives us hugs all the time. God bless him, Ryan. But I tried to get him to support Newcastle United, but he doesn't like football, I'm afraid.
Is my Twitch link in the chat at all? Because I posted it earlier.
I don't use Twitch, mate.
Oh, okay. But I put it in the comment section of the stream. I put in the comment section of the stream for to promote myself.
I haven't, mate. No. What I'm gonna have to do, I'm definitely gonna go on Twitch. I mean, I know didn't go on so I'm gonna go on Twitch. Let's have, I guess, the numbers as well. Go northwards if I do go, and yeah, so definitely check up on that. Is Twitch good? Is Twitch a good one? Good one?
Yeah, well, I think the videos you use, you can actually stream on Twitch. It's not just gaming. You could do podcast kind of thing, like what we're doing. Leave Gunner's live streams. He doesn't do it just on YouTube. He does it on he streams on YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope, I think, or Facebook Live and Twitter Live.
Wow!
So you could stream on multiple things just besides YouTube. You could stream, you could link your stream to your Twitter account as well, and people can watch.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I might do that. I might get it linked up there. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I think the more variety, the more you'll grow too. To be honest, John. But yeah, for me, I'm just sticking with personally, I just finished school in cybersecurity about a month ago.
Yeah.
And now I have time off of it while I'm working part-time.
Yeah. So you're right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, man, I'm gonna think of that sort of thing. So it's a big thing. It's a big thing doing it all, linking it up onto everything. So I might stick it on Twitter for now, and then if I get the numbers, I'd love to get another 425 people, so I'd get me 1,000, and that's not going to be an easy thing.
Yeah, I think on Twitch you just be putting a streaming under the category of just chatting.
Yeah,
that's what it would be. But for me, I'm just streaming FIFA a few times, on weekdays mainly when I have time, and
yeah, man.
A lot of people ask me who I support in the chat, and I have a lot of people from UK kind of actually follow me.
Yeah, man. Yeah, check it out, man. Yeah, just gonna look into it soon rather than later, that sort of thing. I've got so many people watching this my streams live. I've got 15 watching at the minute. I think I had 20 earlier on, so that's not too bad. I've got active Aaron as well. He's constantly chat regularly. I'm done till Bruce gone. Not even watching on TV anymore. Switched it off after 5 minutes. The last two games after seeing you have reverted back, sitting back, being passive. I don't blame my guy.
There it is. There's my comment there.
Put the name in the chat. Don't think it'll let you post a link.
I didn't post a link. I literally just typed twitch.tv/my Ryusing Ray.
Sure. I'll definitely look into that, mate. 100% there. And I've got Bead Mercury. Welcome to me chat. First time, I believe. Please subscribe if you are new. And if you do subscribe to my channel, it'll be absolutely amazing. Thank you very much indeed. John and Ryan, what are your thoughts on giving the player 6 days off after that dross that was served to us during the Brighton game? So what's your take on that one? I mean, I know you said it, but just for the listeners.
It's more of the thing where, it's why already? We're in a desperate battle, and Steve Bruce, just before the Brighton game, is finally acknowledging, yeah, I'm not good enough. We're in relegation now. Well, good job, because not the whole fan base, but the whole people like me from Canada, people like some guy, a Toon fan from China, Malaysia, Australia, all these fans realized this before you even knew, Bruce. And you're the man who's the manager. It's a joke.
I think it's just,
and the mood as soon as the players return, it's it's going to be awful. Like we'll see on social media, like like how on Facebook or like Twitter they post the training photos. That literally papers over the cracks of what's actually going on at the training ground. It's literally a few shots of the players smiling, but there's more behind it than that.
Yeah, man. I just think it's ridiculous, man. Absolutely disgraceful, honestly. But he's right, by the way. Absolutely right. And I got Gia here, lunchtime kickoff, so crap. Well, I'm going to have to fly, but I'm going to have to leave Pegswood at 7 o'clock on Sunday week, so I can just get back in time for 1 o'clock for the gym. So, yeah, I've got Claire Williams. She's a big Manchester United fan, and good evening, both. Hope you're having a great evening, Claire. Welcome to us as well. Absolutely fine. And my son's great, and, Kelly is fine, and we're going to be best of friends. And my son comes first, as you know. I hope you're okay. I still want your cat Snorri, though. John, what it is with Claire Ryan, I love a cat called Snorri, and she's absolutely gorgeous. And I keep saying to her, I want to take him as well. And one day I'm sure she'll crack one day. And, best again. Now I've got Steve Bruce. Well, I'm back again, lads. Okay, cool. And James, you'll get to 1,000, John. We believe in you. Yay! Come on, I want to get there. I still have 986 to get to 1,000. It's all about giving it time and sticking to it. Absolutely weakness. The thing is, as well, you got to be patient on these. Because at the end of the day, it's not
all about hard work and grind.
Totally agree. It's all about hard work, grind, good contents as well. It's all about having patience, and patience is key to this game.
Obviously, like growing's a good thing, but like have that kind of in the back of your mind. Like you want to build a community almost. Like I'm having that same approach on my Twitch as well. Like I want to build a community and just like vibe out with my viewers.
Totally agree. And that's all about patience, all about there you go. I got Claire just on, and I'll give you Claire in a minute. And Steve's 6 days off is excellent. With the work on my list of excuses been blaming COVID.
That's his main excuse this year. But no, this next press conference, he's going to have to box clever with Isaac Hayden.
I tell you what,
that's my favorite now is box clever.
I think this next press conference is going to be the best of the lot.
We'll have to dust ourselves down.
It's going to be the best of the lot. He's gonna. I tell you what, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get ripped out good one. I'm telling you. Now I got better here. Love how a big fan base we just shows the potential the club has. We're a massive club, but actually don't treat us as a club. And Jesse, did you just peg us, John? I sure did. I sure said pegs would, baby, and that's where I'm at in a minute. And I think it is. And Claire says, I never cracked John. Nerves of steel. So is that a non-negotiable then, Claire? Is that a no deal? Or she stays with you? Nah, Claire's lovely. She's a big, a subscriber that comes back regularly for more important than fine random subscribers. You know what it is? Ryan, he's absolutely right. He's 100% right. A subscriber that comes back regularly, like Benno is important fine randoms. I totally agree. It's all about your friends. It's all about regular subscribers coming onto your show and putting on a show. I got Peter here. Every manager has an excuse. Steve is just no other manager. Brings it up week in, week out. Full of excuses. We have to dust ourselves doing because my tic-tacs are that Asians. Wow.
You know what Paul said? I loved one of his comments. He said, like, someone said I'd rather have Miss Piggy as manager over Bruce. And then he's like, well, Steve Bruce probably ate Miss Piggy already. I love his podcast, baby, especially when he get beats. You know what I mean? I look at AFC. You got Lee Godder, right? I mean, he kicks up him and Chicky as well. I love those two. Those two are watching this, yeah. For me, they're the best. That's the best podcast for me. It's Lee and Chig. Check them out. Look, they're the best for me. And I got G as well. I'm a few miles off Pegasus, mate. Wow, no problems at all. And that'd be amazing. And I think he listened. I'm not sure where he listened. I think he listened. Is it Anik? I could well be wrong. I think it's Anik. So yeah, I've got Archer here. Good evening, lads. He's a tour at the back. I hope he's okay. And I've got Ben. So Steve Bruce, you should watch Matt City's documentary
on Amazon. It might help you, and even Sunderland might help you as well. Totally agree. Lee, I'd rather have Zippy than Bruce. At least we were able to shut him up. And I'll keep seeing Mr. Piggy. She's out for Bruce BBQ'd her and plays an apple and lock up. Oh man, absolutely. And James, who does run follow in Canada? Of course, it's Newcastle United. And
I support Newcastle, but I follow Madrid quite a bit as well.
Follow Real Madrid.
Just because, like, the 3 years of them winning the Champions League, the team they had was incredible. Isco, what was it? It was Navas, Carvajal, Varane, Ramos, Marcelo, Cruz, Casemiro, Modric, Benzema, Ronaldo, and Isco. Oh my God, that was the peak. Though that team was amazing.
Wow! And I'll tell you what. Thank God, Real Madrid is not managed by Steve Bruce. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and you know what, too? Like Zidane, that's his first job, and he's winning Champions League right away. Steve Bruce is not even capable of reaching that at all.
Not at all. Whereas Zinedine Zidane, I mean, he's a triple Champions League winner sort of thing. And people say that he doesn't play exciting football. But at the end of the day, he's a world-class manager for a reason. And that's why he is a Champions League winner, a World Cup winner, and he's won everything in the book.
And that's why after Ronaldo left and Zidane left Madrid after Lopetegui came in and Florentino Perez sacked him. And he's like, okay, I got to bring back Zidane. Then last season, they win the La Liga as well.
Yeah, man. Done it. And he said, yeah, come back. I want to buy the players that he wants. And that's the reason he came back. I got Peter here. How has Steve Bruce been manager for 20 years, especially when he's admitted he doesn't do tactics? Doesn't he realise the game has advanced over the years? Honestly, well said, BD. Well said. From time, Lynmouth, for national, I know what that is, man. Yeah, can he play Lynmouth? Love it there. Do you have any Canadian football teams do you support? Do you have a Canadian?
MLS is completely dead, John, to be honest. That's me seen as a Canadian too. Like, I feel like there'll probably be like a few minority of fans that probably defend MLS, but it's crap. Like, the whole reason I got into football is because, well, like, first of all, like, it's always long winters here where I live, and as soon as around May, where like you have like an organized football that starts, I'd always play every year. And like when I was younger, I never watched it. The first games I was watching was the Brazil World Cup, because at the time, like, it was so hard to get on TV. So yeah.
Cool. Brilliant stuff. I'm just going to read these two more comments quickly before we wrap up. And I got Lee Tito. Well, 2010 Barcelona is one of the greatest Spanish sides, in my opinion. I tell you what, they were absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And just amazing. That team was absolutely amazing, man. And it's just great to watch and exciting to watch as well. And the Barca of now at the minute is just not there. But I still think Lionel Messi will still be at Barca next season anyway. I still feel he'll be there.
Yeah, they got a new president, so I feel like they're going in the right direction now.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I wish English clubs had presidents.
I totally agree. Have a FE4, and then after that, have a OG test FE season, and then see if they're suitable then. But Mike Ashley, I'm sorry, he would have failed from the first hurdle. Let me tell you. But it is all it is, and like I said, I'm gonna wrap this up now. But you got to come back on my channel again soon, kidder. You gotta have to.
Yeah, maybe at the end of the season. I feel like I'll do that, and then I'll have more thoughts in this head here.
Definitely. Or if Steve Bruce gets a sack, I should do a special program, and I'm gonna get you on as well. Would you fancy coming on?
Yeah, I think I would actually, because if Steve Bruce gets sacked, that'd be the most exciting thing to happen this year. Because this season, man, Newcastle's season overall has been dead this year.
Yeah, it's so not, dead, isn't it? It's shocking. I'm going to wrap this up very quickly, these comments, because it's really not new. GMs, European football is miles ahead than any team in any other continent. Yeah, a little something for Brucey. Rain Bucks can follow me. It's just like, Boo's nose is to smell like sparse. Nothing seems a fit because that's why Boo's are making nibbles. Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Thomas. Thanks very much, man. Brazil's Ronaldo or Portuguese Ronaldo? Good question there. Will you take Ronaldo for Brazil, Ronaldo for Portugal?
Probably the Portuguese one because he's still got in the tank to win as much as he can. And
yeah, I have to agree with that.
To be honest, I wasn't really part of the era of like when Ronaldo Nazario was around. Like I was born in 2000, and like I only think he retired like a few years later.
Yeah, man.
And you don't really remember your life until you're like 4 or 5. So, especially for me, like I wasn't even watching anything till about 6-7 years ago. So I'm part of that generation. So I'd probably give my bias towards Cristiano.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good answer there. I got if Bruce was manager Man City, they wouldn't win the league. I totally agree with that, BD. Tell you what, if you even manage Fiorentina Italian football, he still wouldn't get delegated. You know what I mean? I got Ashley would probably want someone like Dennis Wise as a president. No, thank you very much. Great stream, lads. Stay safe. You too as well, Paul. Brazil and Ronaldo was class. Yep, I doubt. CR7 or Messi?
I think Messi for me.
Yeah.
I think if Ronaldo wins the Euros or a World Cup, I think he'll go down as like almost a better player. But if you talk about ability, definitely Messi for me. The guy's an alien,
isn't he? Just he's still doing his business and fantastic. I'd love to see Lionel Messi in the Italian league, something like an Inter Milan.
Yeah.
So, and if he does that, then it'll be absolutely amazing, and it'll be fun to enjoy. Thanks so much for that, James. Excellent stream. Thank you. And yeah, we're going to end it there, Ryan, if that's okay. But it's been on for an hour and 3/4, by the way. It's well worth it. Did you enjoy the show?
Yeah, it was really good.
Good for you, man. Listen, we're definitely going to come. When are you next back on the show? Are you back on Paul's show this week, or PD Parallax, or Sharkies, or?
Well, I was on Sharky's show for a while, but like, I'm not trying to like be offensive at all, but I kind of lost interest in his channel when he stopped doing the fan forums. But like, I still subscribe to him. I still like hearing him.
Yeah.
But I've kind of moved. The main person I watch now is probably Paul, and I found him through James.
Yes, I think Paul's absolutely amazing.
Paul's grown so much. Like I think he's doing like 1,000. I think he had like 1,000 people watching during his rant against Brighton.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, though, he's amazing. I mean, listen, he's done it longer than I have, and I've got a long way to go. End of the day, it's not competition. It's all about the things you do, and as long as you enjoy it, if you like the people, and it's absolutely amazing. Paul is amazing to me. It's people like him's got us on here, sort of thing. You know what I mean? And since then, it's took off. And
yeah, I found you through James as well on the watch-alongs. I think that's how I found you, and like collaboration is probably the best thing almost.
Yeah, man. That's what I got to do on Sunday week. If I can get back on time, I'll do it. But I will try and get back on time and do it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I love doing the watch along. And, you know, it's just absolutely amazing. So, yeah, but keep watching our watch along because I get about 350 people viewers now. Like,
yeah, it's I mean, people for us, like, it's just the numbers are so mind blowing at first.
I know. When I did the first one earlier, I had about 20 people watching this sort of thing. You know what I mean? Newcastle Liverpool game. But since then, it's just grown and grown and grown. And yeah, and I just, you know what it is? Even on 51, and I don't look 51, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, man. I just enjoyed it. Like I said, we get relegated sort of thing. Well, I'm going to turn up for the championship games, or would I want to do a watch along? For me, I'd like to do a watch along if I'm honest with you. And if we get back in the Premier League, boom, I'll rock and roll. So, and also, guys, if you're on Twitch, can you please follow me on this Twitch account, which is Rose Singre.
Yeah, that's
which as well soon. I've got Instagram as well, but I don't use Insta as much. And yeah, all I can say to you guys, thanks so much for coming on, Ryan, mate. We got to do it again, and thanks to a few hours as well for joining us. And yeah, you got to have a good evening, my friend, in Canada.
See you later.
See you later, guys.